I want to start off by saying this, that stats on paper kind of matter, but they don't define a team itself. And all I want for this team tomorrow afternoon is to go out there on the road and put up a fight. I just want them to put up a fight. And you guys know what I'm talking about, or if not, I'm speaking about the Commanders. Now, I'm gonna make this video wearing my Caps jersey because they got the big win tonight. That's great. 10 wins on the year. But I'm not here to talk about them specifically. I'm here to speak about the Commanders, their struggles. But I'm mainly here to encourage them to go out there and play some solid football tomorrow. It's not going to be pretty tomorrow, but I just want to see the fight. I want to see the passion. I want to see the heart. I want to see the energy you bring to the table. Because what I've seen in the previous 7 losses this year, you guys are just not ready to go. You're not ready to go out there and execute. You are not ready to really show that you're a talented and capable team that could go the distance in the playoffs. Not even close. Started with the coaching staff. A lot of people are calling out Ron Rivera's job, as well as Jack Del Rio. Eric Bieniemy, I'm not going to get into too much on him because he's decent. The offense is decent. But who I mainly feel bad for is this kid, Sam Howell. He leads the league in passing yards. He's a talented young man that can deliver. But the problem is, yes, he holds the ball for too long, causing him to get sacks. But he leads the league in sacks too. That's just hard to hear. Run game, average. They need to be more productive with the running backs. The receiving core, you gotta give the ball to Terry McLaurin. Give it to Dotson. Give it to Thomas. You gotta be more productive. De'Ami Brown, he has made a couple big plays too, yes. But the offensive line is my main problem here. They just can't block at all. Moving on to the defense. Obviously, in the trade deadline, they traded away Chase Young and Montez Sweat for some uncertain future in Washington. The defense right now ranks 29th in the league. That's the 4th worst defense. Secondary, giving up a lot of big plays. Like I mentioned in my previous video, and the front 7 is not generating any pressure at all. It's definitely not the same without Chase Young and Montez Sweat, because those are 2 guys that can deliver on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're the main strength of this team, but now they're clear rebuild mode. Now you shift towards the offensive side. Sam Howell, after that game against the Giants, felt miserable and terrible after what he displayed. 3 picks, including the pick 6, 3 fumbles, which in total include 6 turnovers in that game against the New York Giants. That offense has been average all year. They have to take a serious look at themselves in the mirror and thinking, what can we do better as a group in order to get ourselves back on track, and most importantly, what mistakes need to be cleaned up? What adjustments can we make? What's the mindset we have to bring to the table? But to me, it starts off with the coaches. I know Sam Howell's going to own those mistakes. I completely get that. He's a rookie. But the coaching staff is not going to change the game plans. They're not going to change the offensive schemes. And defense is just going to play the same play calls each and every game. There's absolutely nothing that's going to change in Washington. And the Commanders know tomorrow in Jerry's world, yes, going up against the Dallas Cowboys, in all honesty, from an objective fan's perspective, they're going to get squashed. They're going to get obliterated. And they're going to be dismantled from top to bottom. That defense, I fear, will get shredded by Dak Prescott in that offense. And our offense is going to be clobbered up by DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, and Stephon Gilmore's secondary. I do believe it's time for change in Washington. And if they lose badly, at the end of the day, they have to seriously start making those changes. Because this coaching staff is not going to win you a championship. Not even close to winning a championship. Ron Rivera has not provided the motivation. He's not provided the leadership that any team would want to go out there and compete. Jack Del Rio, on the other hand, his play calling and the coverages that he throws each and every week that this defense goes out there on the field, it's just not working at all. The defense as one unit cannot make a stop or cannot prevent big plays from happening. The offense, on the other hand, is just an average offense. Sam Howell's going to throw for, 100 plus yards tomorrow, and then probably going to get sacked 3+ times. I fear it's going to be a rough day tomorrow for the Commanders. I fear that they're going to get torn apart. But the one reason I'm making this video right now is because I just want to see this team be successful. I want to see this team compete, and I want to see them fight from beginning to end. I'll take you back in the 2012 season. Take you back 11 years ago when Washington went on the road to Dallas on Thanksgiving Day to take on Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys. I saw RG3 go out there and put out his greatest performance. He gave the ball to Santana Moss. He was giving it to Robinson. He was giving the ball to each and every one of his receivers because his offensive line was clicking. And that defense was able to get to Tony Romo because they were pressuring him. They dismantled the Cowboys by a blowout. It took a lot of effort to go out there in that hostile environment in Dallas, Arlington to be specific, to win that game on Thanksgiving against Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys. RG3 put up a great performance. I'll also take you back to the 2020 season, even though that really wasn't a game. Alex Smith went out there and demolished the Cowboys piece by piece because Dak Prescott got hurt at that time. He jacked up his leg. So it was Andy Dalton taking his position, and he played like trash all the way. And so the defense was successful in those two wins on Thanksgiving against the Dallas Cowboys. The offensive line was able to click and give their quarterbacks enough time in the pocket to deliver to the receivers or run the football with authority. So I'm looking at this year's Washington Commanders. And that offensive line, they got to dramatically step up. I am being dead serious. They had to dramatically step up. I'm not doing like a pregame spiel or the keys to the game. I'm just here to tell them to go out there and fight. Fight from beginning to end. Play for each other. Stick up for one another. And most importantly, give it your all. Show the passion. Show the energy. Show the sense of urgency. And show the care that you are capable of winning football games. Because as of lately, it seems like you're not. You're not showing it that you really care about winning football games. And already the season has gone to a downward trend. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. It's the same story for the last 3 years that Ron Rivera and his coaching staff has been with this organization. Nothing has changed since then. It's the same story with Washington. But then again, there's just nothing you can do about it. I'm just waiting till the off season, because this has been a painful year. It has been a stressful year. And worst of all, it has been depressing. To see Sam Howell go out there and give it his all. He looks like a guy that's passionate about giving his team a chance to win. But once he threw that pick six, he felt bad about himself. He went into the locker room feeling absolutely miserable. This kid, I definitely feel bad for. He didn't come to Washington to deserve this. I know he's a great kid, talented quarterback that can throw the football down the field. But when he's working with that offensive line that can't block, that is just such a shame that they let Sam Howell be in this position where he's got to deal with pressure left and right. He's got to scramble out of the pocket to find somebody, and he takes way too long to get the ball out of his hands. The offense has just been flat out inconsistent. Defense has been pure and utter garbage, especially when Chase Young and Montez Sweat left the squad. It has been the same story with the Commanders. Now we have to go out there, unfortunately, on Thanksgiving against those darn Dallas Cowboys. A team that looks to be explosive offensively and defensively. Because not only their defense can generate a lot of pressure with Micah Parsons, secondary is also stellar. And that offense, with Tony Pollard, they can run the football with ease. And the receiving core is just unstoppable. Jake Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Turpin, and of course, the one and only Dak Prescott. They got a lot to play for because they are a playoff team that we're facing. But if I'm going to leave one message to the Commanders to go out there and be successful tomorrow and somehow pull off an upset, is you got to believe in yourselves. You got to have a sense of urgency. You have to have the care. You have to have the support. And you must have that fighting spirit in you in order for you to stay competitive and keep the level of competitiveness shown in this matchup right here. You got to show that you are a resilient football team. You got to show that your record does not define who you are. 4-7, I know is bad, but it doesn't define who you are. I know you're better than this. And I know what you've been done, what you guys have been doing the entire season just represents who you are as a team, as a unit. But you gotta prove the haters, and you gotta prove the analysts, all the critics, that you are still a resilient football team. You're not gonna be pretty, you're not gonna be always perfect, but you have to show some resiliency tomorrow. That's all I gotta say. But if you go out there and play like flat out garbage, it's time for change. I don't want to see this nonsense again for next year. Like I'm just tired of seeing this same old story with the Washington Commanders. They continue to do what they have been doing the entire season, being inconsistent and letting everybody call out for Ron Rivera's job, especially Jack Del Rio as well. Eric Bieniemy, like I said, I'm not going to get into his situation yet because the offense is just average. But yes, Thursday night football, 4:30 East time. Please show that you have the fighting spirit left in you. If you have any left in the tank, go out there and show it to your arch rival. Show it to your division nemesis. Show it to the people watching on national television that you are a resilient football team. That's all I gotta say. Go out there and be resilient. Period. That's all I gotta say.